Dearest audience members, YouTube viewers, terrestrial beings, inhabitants of the Earth and universe. See what we did there? Language is a crucial part of what it means to be human, a system of communication, a means of expression, the foundation of social interaction. The way we use language reflects our beliefs and internalized norms, and holds up a mirror to the culture and society we live in. This is especially true when it comes to gender. In this video, we will explore the power of language from a feminist perspective, investigating how language perpetuates gender stereotypes in the gender binary, why this is important, and what to do about it. At the core of many problematic linguistic concepts lies a depiction of the male experience as a general human experience. Sounds familiar? These linguistic concepts become especially problematic when put in a political context, since language can act as a tool to facilitate oppression. Despite protests from different communities, the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen of 1789 consciously did not acknowledge equal rights for men and women, let alone grant women, along with people of colour, the enslaved, Jewish people and others, citizenship, thereby depriving them of their basic human rights and the promises of the revolution. Apart from that, there are many more subtle mechanisms that discredit women's humanness and reason. Adjectives like demure or bubbly imply a friendly passivity, and referring to women as girls diminishes them since it denies their maturity and power. Without denigrating its often empowering intentions, the term girl boss is just as ridiculous as saying girl doctor, girl lawyer, girl president, as it implies that they don't have the capacity to be an actual doctor, lawyer, or president, just an inferior female version. Or have you ever heard the term boy boss or he CEO? No, since we expect men to be successful and achieve leadership positions. This leads us to gendered job titles which fail to acknowledge the existence of women and non-binary people in male-dominated fields, and prevent them from pursuing these careers in the first place. Using neutral terms doesn't only help smash the patriarchy, but makes you get creative and helps broaden your vocabulary. Another huge gap exists in the evaluation of men and women's work.
Give her to somebody else. I ask for a man.
In reference letters, women are more likely to be described as compassionate, hard-working, dependable, dedicated, warm, and helpful, while men are said to be successful, excellent, skilled, knowledgeable, ambitious, and confident. This unconscious bias is internalized by all genders, as studies have shown that job descriptions with feminine words such as supportive, empathetic, and collaborative attract more female applicants. This shows how women are socially conditioned to identify with and strive to embody these often passive, non-challenging, and compliant traits. If, on the other hand, one deviates from this expectation of a soft-spoken, accommodating personality,
I'm a big bitch and I ride a bus.
Women are called bossy, feisty, shrill, dramatic, hard to work with, a nag, or a diva, which are all synonymous to having an opinion while female. Men with similar qualities, however, are called assertive, confident, or possess good leadership skills. Often, descriptors for women are tied to the age-old idea of an inferior female biological condition that they are unable to control.
Now you're getting hysterical. Here. There. Better?
Yes, thank you.
Examples are moody, hormonal, or hysterical, the latter of which derives from the ancient Greek term disease of the womb, a medical diagnosis that justified the subjection of women as irrational beings. This stereotype of emotional incapability is still very much ingrained into our interactions.
Shut up! Shut up, you! Because I don't want to hear it! I've had it!
All women will have encountered some form of tone policing, in which one is attacked for one's tone for being emotional in a debate. This distracts from the credibility of the argument and of the speaker themselves. Not only that, but even on our most intimate personal interactions, it seems to be important for society to know about women's familial status, which defines their worth in many ways. They are frequently referred to as a wife of a man and not addressed as an individual person. Motherhood and the workplace are also a common example. You're either a lone wolf and a cold career woman, or, if you have children, are deemed incapable of taking on a job as professionally as others. The field of journalism is especially guilty of perpetuating these double standards. Articles disproportionately focus on women's appearance, their relationship, and family status. Female politicians are accused of having a likability problem and are told to smile more. They are frequently asked about their work-life balance and labelled as a woman's candidate. In general, female representation in media reproduces the expectations and stereotypes surrounding femininity and womanhood. Apart from various visual clues, the analysis of language in movies provides insight to the extent of gender inequalities. A comparison of the amount of words spoken by male and female characters is one point of examination. The large majority of Disney movies, for example, show an unbalanced male-to-female dialogue ratio. In The Jungle Book, Monsters, Inc., and Toy Story, male characters speak over 90% of the total words. What might seem even more surprising is that in princess films like Mulan, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, and even Frozen, men have more lines than women. Furthermore, a study has shown that among the examined 2,000 movies dating from the 1980s to 2010s, the majority of female lines are by actresses between 22 to 31 years of age, while the majority of lines spoken by men were of actors between 42 and 65 years. On the bright side, there have been many positive developments over recent years. This has been paralleled by progressive screenwriting approaches, for example. Some writers have reversed the gender of characters after the creation of a script to combat unconscious bias, or set up gender-blind castings, allowing people of all genders to audition for any role, regardless of the character's gender. Until now, we have talked about the effects of language on gender inequality in daily life, politics, the professional sphere, journalism, and the media. However, it is important to note that the discussed form of sexism are experienced very differently among the female and non-binary population. These issues generally intensify if one is not white, cisgendered, straight, middle or upper class, and non-disabled. Sexism intersects with various forms of oppression. Certain swear words, metaphors, and figures of speech reinforce ableism, for example. In addition, racism is equally perpetuated by language. For example, by colour symbolisms, Eurocentric terms distorting history and current affairs, or curse words as well. Not so fun fact, sports pages of newspapers and magazines call developing world athletes by their first names more frequently than white athletes. So why is all this important? As we have seen, language is a key mechanism of a patriarchal system, discrediting women and minority genders, their abilities and opinions. It imposes unhealthy norms and expectations on personality traits, societal roles, and body image. Not only does it constrain women and non-binary people, but it also imposes ideals of strength, power, and dominance on men, while perpetuating an ingrained neglection of emotional and caring attributes as universal human traits. In the end, our goal should not be an assimilation towards masculine descriptors, but rather a re-evaluation of our own vocabulary, deconstructing the inherent superior connotation of male-oriented language. Our vocabulary shapes our ideas on leadership, family, emotion, and diversity, and therefore being aware of the gendered implications of language is crucial for the advancement of gender equality. How do you address the people around you? What adjectives do you use? We challenge you to actively reflect on how you express yourself and to promote awareness on inclusive language. Ever wondered about the gendered roots of pronouns, characters, articles, or the grammar of your language? Stay tuned for our sequel episode Languages, where we apply the issues raised in this video to various languages from around the world. For more entertaining content on this topic, as well as more information on our sources, please visit the description box below.